72. Danny Miller in the number 31, and Scott Heidman out of Clarksville, Indiana, in car number 14. And the green flag is out, and we're racing. Down the back straightaway, a shootout for the number 1 spot as George Koch carries quite well into the 3rd and 4th turn. The number 1 of Donnie Sullivan on the inside as they swing down the front straightaway, but it's George Koch who sticks his Thornton's Gas and Food Marts Banquet Table Buffet and Collins Chevrolet Geo Racing Camaro out front. The battle for second now between the current point leader, car number 5, Chuck Barnes, on the outside of Donnie Sullivan in car number 1 as they move down the front straightaway. Back into turns 1 and 2. And Chuck Barnes takes over the number 2 spot. Wade Johnson, runner-up in points 1 year ago, runs at 3rd. Sullivan drop kicks back to 4th. At 5th, it's Rick Irwin. Going 6th, Scott Toohey. 7th to Chuck Winders. 8th to the number 53 of Joe Williamson Jr. And running in the lineup as well, car number 44, Joe Lewis. The field works out of turn 4 and down the front straightaway, clicking off lap number 4 of a 30-lap contest. Single file throughout the front 5, and then it's Rick Irwin in the number 47 racing with Chuck Winders driving car number 8, moving down the back straightaway. Now a battle for 4th between car number 38, Scott Toohey, and the number 1 of Donnie Sullivan. Moving into turns 1 and 2, now Wade Johnson goes to work on Chuck Barnes for the number 2 spot at the end of the back straightaway, moving into the 3rd and 4th turn area. Down the front straightaway, and again we're monitoring the battle at the number 2 spot. Wade Johnson, who was runner-up in point standings 1 year ago in this division, racing along the inside of the current point leader, Chuck Barnes, as they work out of turn 4. Johnson takes the spot away. Barnes drop kicks back to 3rd. Car number 38, Scott Toohey, runs at 4th, and Joey Williamson and car number 53 rounds out the top 5. Chuck Winders now going to the outside of Donnie Sullivan. The battle out of turn 4 as they work the front straightaway. Those two cars are side by side in front of the VIP suite. Again, Chuck Winders looking to the outside of Donnie Sullivan. Sullivan drops back, and Winders takes over the spot. A battle for 3rd now, out of turn 2. Scott Toohey in car number 38, the Churchill Downs Racing Chevy Camaro, looking to the inside of Chuck Barnes. Tucks right back in line, though, on the front straightaway. It's George Koch, 2-time mini stock champion here at Louisville Motor Speedway, with 1 feature win to his credit, would like to make it his 2nd one tonight, and enjoys about a 5-car length advantage over the number 09 of Wade Johnson, scooting into turns 1 and 2. The battle resumes at 3rd place as Scott Toohey flies by the inside of Chuck Barnes and nails down the number 3 spot. Barnes caught up on the outside on that 12-degree banking and actually opening up a path on the inside, by which Joe Williamson Jr. in his Tumbleweed Mexican Restaurants Racing Chevrolet takes over the number 4 spot. The number 8 of Chuck Winders also appears to be gliding by the inside of Barnes on the front straightaway. George Koch now has to pick and choose the traffic as Fred Kalin of Brooks, Kentucky is now 1 lap down to our leaders. George Koch out of turn 4. The Thornton's Gas and Food Marts, Collins Chevrolet, and Banquet Table Buffet Camaro is the leader, approaching the halfway mark of this 30-lap feature event for the Winston Martin Landscaping Sportsman Division. The leaders will run single file out of turn 4 as lap 15 goes up on the board. Charlie Pierce in car number 7, his pace is slowing dramatically on the back straightaway and is headed back towards the pit area. Bill Wallace of Okolona, Kentucky, driving car number 17, now 1 lap down to our leaders. George Koch doing a super piece of driving here this evening, picking and choosing his traffic and threading the needle through the slower cars for the other leaders to move through. And as right now they look like they're a string of automobiles down the front straightaway and into turns 1 and 2. Pastor Ron Lasley in car number 10, no longer on the lead lap as George Koch takes a peek inside. Out of turn 4. And Les Vogt in car number 22, his car drifts to the outside coming down the front straightaway. Koch having some difficulty moving past the inside of Lasley on the back straightaway. Makes the move, though, moving into turns 3 and 4. It's still Wade Johnson, followed by the number 38 of Scott Toohey, the 53 of Joe Williamson Jr., and Chuck Winders, all tied to a string there as they work out of turn 2 and on the back straightaway. Wade Johnson, our second-place car, momentarily made contact with Les Vogt while exiting turn 2. However, those cars are right back into single-file formation as they continue to race through heavy traffic, moving into the first and second turn. Gary Ott's Canola Cream Racing Chevrolet Camaro, the next car to go one lap down to our leader. The number 99 George Koch's machine, prepared out of the Kimmel race car shops. Frank Kimmel constructing this car over the winter months. The second and third place automobiles have been built by Roger Basham of Pro Crafters Race Car Shops and Fabrications. Down the front straightaway, car number 53, Joe Williamson Jr., driving that ex-Brian Baum-owned Chevrolet Camaro. And then Chuck Winders in car number 8, driving the A1 Engineering prepared Camaro. They'll swing down and collect lap number 23, and George Koch enjoys about a 2-car length separation over the rest of the field as they work out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. Koch looking for his second feature win of the 1991 racing season. He wants to keep his name in the running for that right-way grinding saw and tool first to win for bonus. It's decision time for Wade Johnson now, coming up on 5 laps to go. Wade has to make his mind up to go for the number 1 spot or protect the runner-up position from Scott Toohey. However, the yellow flag falls at lap number 25 for Pastor Ron Lasley's car, who spun in between the first and second turn. And I believe our good friends from Right Way Grinding Saw and Tool Company had a great view of that action up in the first and second turn. After 25 laps of competition, our leader has been the number 99 of George Koch. After getting around early race leader Donnie Sullivan, he has led 24 laps of this race. The number 09 of Wade Johnson, his machine appeared to be fading as we got towards the later stages of this contest, and it looked as though Wade Johnson was doing the best he could to hold on to the number 2 spot to keep Toohey from taking that position away. The number 53 of Joe Williamson Jr. will be lining up in the number 4 spot. Chuck Winders in the top 5 in car number 8. Start. It is up to George Koch to set the pace for the restart of the event as they work out of turn 4. The green flag is back out and we're racing and off into turns 1 and 2. What's Wade Johnson going to do? Try to go around Koch or fold back for second? At the end of the back straightaway, we still have a side-by-side battle for the number 1 spot as Scott Toohey collected race leader George Koch going into the third and fourth turn area, bringing out the caution flag. The yellow flag comes out after Scott Toohey made contact with race leader George Koch. After Scott Toohey made contact with race leader George Koch, Koch's automobile made contact with the 09 of Wade Johnson, and rookie driver Reed Boone was also involved as well. And now it looks as though the number 99 of George Koch tangles with Scott Toohey up in the fourth turn area of the Speedway. What goes around?
Which the Racing Series win. Same thing for Chuck Barnes, and neither one of these guys is going to give the other one one little scrap of inch of real estate. They're going to go for that lead right off the bat, and here's where it counts. David Geiger's going to let him go.
Okay, Chuck Winders looks like he may have the car to pull off the victory here tonight as they work out of turn number 4. David Geiger gives them one more lap before taking the green flag, as that front row did come out of line. But throughout the first 25 laps of this contest, it certainly looked as though Chuck Winders has certainly had a superior car. And look, I believe that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, George Koch out of Crescent Hill, Kentucky in the Thornton's Gas and Food Marts Racing Chevrolet will rejoin the lineup as they work out of turn 4. The green flag is out and we're racing. And to a standing ovation, George Koch is received and rejoins the lineup. Out of turn 4, it'll be the fireman for the city of Louisville. Car number 8, Chuck Winders out of Pleasure Ridge Park, Kentucky, a former Kentucky Bourbon softball player. blasts down the back straightaway and opens up a 4-car length interval over the second place running Chuck Barnes as they work out of turn 4. They're down the front straightaway. Car number 12, Darrell Hadley, a rookie in this division, has worked his way up to 3rd place. The number 1 of Donnie Sullivan now goes at 4th. And then rounding out the top 5, car number 53, Joe Williamson Jr. As the white flag appears, feature event number 3 is all but won by the number 8 of Chuck Winders of Pleasure Ridge Park, Kentucky. Moving down into turns 3 and 4, a survivor of an accident in the 3rd and 4th turn, Winders will take his 3rd feature win of the 1991 racing season. One step away from that right way grinding saw and tool, first to win 4 bonus.